Hi everyone, welcome to another exciting, educational, and enjoyable English class. This is your teacher in English. My name is Mr. Felix G. Tungal Jr., your Sir J, that tells you to have fun while learning. For today's agenda, number 1, recognize word choices or lines to detect biases and propaganda devices. Number 2, identify propaganda techniques used in the given advertisements. But before we go to our lesson for today, let's have a review. Identify the form of bias and propaganda device being described in the following sentences. Number 1, it tends to occur when a media outlet decides to do a story on a study released by the same group as always, but ignores studies on the same similar topics released by the opposing group. Number 2, the act of leaving one side out of an article or series of articles over a period of time. Number 3, the news that editors and producers consider most important and what is most likely to sell papers. Number 4, it is an act of relating something or someone we like or respect with a product or symbol. Number 5, it uses famous and respected people to endorse an idea, a product, or symbol. Let's check your answer. Check your own work and be honest. Number 1, bias by story selection. Number 2, bias by omission. Number 3, bias by placement. Number 4, transfer. Number 5, testimonial. Who got 5? Well done! Mrs. Laura goes to a convenience store to buy some grocery items needed for her son's birthday celebration. She needs to buy milk, canned tuna, and butter. But she is confused between the following items. Can you help Mrs. Laura decide which brand will she buy? Have you ever felt like you were being manipulated by some commercials, advertisements, and endorsements? Yes, you probably were. It definitely happens through propaganda in advertising. And that is our lesson for today. Propaganda in advertising is the careful presentation of information in a way that influences how a customer or a potential consumer sees the product or service and how they act, think, or feel as a result. Advertisers want to encourage you to buy their product or service as opposed to any other. And they achieve this by playing with your emotions to get the desired outcome. The 7 propaganda techniques. Number 1, name calling is the most common between two brands that are similar, well-known, and have a loyal fan base. Understandably, they need to lure consumers from the other side to their side. Number 2, card stacking omits any information that may affect their image negatively and includes just that information that will lure you into the trap. Number 3, glittering generalities is a technique makes use of fancy words that elicit a positive response or feeling from you. In turn, this feeling is what makes you want to buy the product, try the service, or become affiliated with the brand. Number 4, testimonial. Advertisers use the testimonials of influencers, authority figures, or experts in the field to convince you that their product is worth your money. Number 5, bandwagon. Advertisers know that it is human nature to not want to be the one left out. They know that if they convince you that everyone else is buying their product or using their service, you will want to jump on the bandwagon too. Number 6, transfer. This is a technique in which an advertiser tries to transfer the good or bad feelings you have associated with something to their brand, product, or service. Number 7, plain folks. When applied to advertising, this basically means that they want to see how a particular product or service brought value to a regular human being like themselves. Let's have an exercise. Cite the propaganda technique that is being described in the following sentences. Number 1, make use of fancy words that elicit a positive response or feeling from you. Number 2, they want to see how a particular product or service brought value to a regular human being like themselves. Number 3, advertiser tries to transfer the good or bad feelings you have associated with something to their brand, product, or service. Number 4, they convince you that everyone else is buying their product or using their service. Number 5, use influencers, authority figures, or experts in the field to convince you that their product is worth your money. Let's check your answer. Check your own work and be honest. Number 1, glittering generalities. Number 2, plain folks. Number 3, transfer. Number 4, bandwagon. Number 5, testimonial. Who got 5? Good job! We have learned that propaganda in advertising is the careful presentation of information in a way that influences how a customer or a potential consumer sees the product or service and how they act, think, or feel as a result. The different propaganda devices are name calling, card stacking, glittering generalities, testimonial, bandwagon, transfer, and plain folks. Let's have an evaluation. Identify the propaganda technique used in the following statements. Number 1, the chocolate that everyone knows. Number 2, living things, funeral parlor. Number 3, we've got it all for you. Number 4, big taste, 40% less fat and 30% less calories. Number 5, Ann Curtis is front row. Let's check your answer. Check your own work and be honest. Number 1, bandwagon. Number 2, name calling. Number 3, glittering generalities. Number 4, card stacking. Number 5, testimonial. Who got 5? Very good! That's all for this week. I hope you have learned from this lesson. This has been your Sir J that tells you to have fun while learning. Keep safe and stay healthy. Goodbye, class!